Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens 2. Rebirth of Emperor Yang Part 49 based on novel. So let's start. On the edge of the sky, an almost invisible shadow flashed by. Then, on the void square, a human shadow flashed out instantly. After a week around the square, it was settled in front of Gu Li. A beautiful face, a black robe, a strong force of fire, and a terrible soul force are invisible, which makes the space around him fluctuate. This person is not Xiao Yan, who else can there be? The appearance of Xiao Yan seems to have caused a great commotion on the whole empty square. It seems that what Hu Leode said is not the truth. Gu Li saw Xiao Yan in front of him, and his old face also showed an unbelievable look, and the red phosphorus on one side suddenly stood up at the moment when Xiao Yang appeared. With Gu Li's strength, even he was shocked by the changes in Xiao Yang. He could clearly feel that Xiao Yang's physical strength had made a qualitative leap again in January. Xiao Yang, who looks like a weak scholar on the surface, is no less than Wei Yi under Gu Li's observation. Even if Xiao Yang breaks out with all his strength, Wei Yi is afraid to be unmatched. However, what surprised Gu Li most was Xiao Yang's terrible speed. Although he had heard of Xiao Yang's terrible speed before January, it was not until today that he saw Xiao Yang's real speed. Moreover, the speed shown by Xiao Yang was even more terrible than the description of the population. Under the limit of such speed, I'm afraid Gu Li must be treated seriously. Relying on this alone, Xiao Yang's speed can be smacked by people. President Gu Li, I didn't see you in January. It seems that he is worried about me. I came back from a long way, but I didn't dare to neglect it at all. I hurried back. Naturally, Xiao Yang's words were just casual. Gu Li raised his eyebrows and then responded with a smile. Xiao Yang helped him step down. He naturally wanted it. The people on the stand understand that Gu Li is waiting for the rock owl to come back. He hasn't been in vain for a month. Compared with the relaxed meaning in Gu Li's heart, Mo Xiai and Wei Yi became gloomy instantly, and more importantly, they were dignified. In any case, they can't imagine how Xiao Yang, a little 3-star and half emperor, and Fang Zun, who has been famous for a long time, could lose to him. Or, did the two old things reach some agreement with the rock owl? At this point, Mo Xiai and Wei Yi couldn't help looking at each other, but they all saw the dignified color on the opposite side. This rock owl is more difficult to deal with than they imagined. As for the old Hu monster, his heart is also very dignified. I'm afraid the speed shown by Xiao Yang is no less than that of him, but the most important thing is that Xiao Yang's strength is only 3-star half emperor. Xiao Yang's timely return also caused a big stone in Gu Li's heart to fall again. At present, the most important meeting of medicine refiners can finally continue. After talking and laughing with Xiao Yang, Gu Li turned around and flew in front of old Hu monster, turned his back to him and ignored the gloomy face of old Hu monster behind him. He glanced at everyone on the empty square. Then his palm pressed the space in front of him, making the audience quiet. Then Gu Li slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile. You just had a little episode. You don't have to worry about it. The most important thing is that Yang Xiao, the elder of our herbalist guild, has gone out and returned. Therefore, I announce that the herbalist assembly will continue now. Wow! Gu Li's words fell, and the whole void square burst into warm applause in an instant, but the sound seemed so harsh in the ears of Mo Xiai and Wei Yi. The old Hu monster looked very low on his old face, and a pair of cloudy old eyes stared at Gu Li in front of him like an eagle hook, with unspeakable cruelty in the depths of his pupils. Gu Li seemed to be aware of this, but he just glanced at the old Hu monster behind him with his remaining light. With his strength, even the old Hu monster with the same 8-star and half emperor would never dare to act rashly. After all, this is the territory of his herbalist guild. In addition, Gu Li has red phosphorus, which is not weaker than his helper. Therefore, these two people can be regarded as truly invincible in the wild ancient city. If old monster Hu really dares to do it, he will only suffer in the end. As an old guy who has lived for so long, he is not stupid at all. Jiyu Li's opening remarks ended, and it was time for Xiao Yan and Jiyu Li to hand over everything in the game. Jiyu Li smiled at Xiao Yan and glanced at Wei Yi standing in the distance. When he moved, he returned to the referee's seat. Huleoge snorted coldly, waved his big sleeve, flashed his body, and then disappeared in the middle of the void square. At the same time, on the void square, in the void, the invisible space was distorted and illusory, and then it condensed into a stone platform out of thin air, just like a stone platform embedded in mid-air. Xiao Yan also knows that this will not be a test. At their level, it is a general test, but he can't see anything. If he wants to witness the strength of a high-level herbalist, only the art of refining medicine can make every penny come true. The 3 stone terraces were triangular and scattered in 3 directions of the whole void square. Xiao Yang did not hesitate. When Mo Shai and Wei moved, they grabbed a stone platform respectively. Xiao Yang's footwork changed, and a faint silver light flashed from the bottom of Xiao Yang's feet. At the same time, Xiao Yang's body appeared on the remaining stone platform. In the place where Xiao Yang just disappeared, a virtual shadow of Xiao Yang slowly looked up and looked at Xiao Yang's eyes. Then the corners of his mouth smiled and scattered. The strangeness of this scene is that everyone on the whole stand was shocked by it, just a residual shadow, but they were able to make actions. This kind of momentum is really the first time they have seen in their life. Xiao Yang is too lazy to explain this, but in Xiao Yang's heart at the moment, he seems quite excited. Now he can make his residual shadows come out by virtue of the secret of the 9-turn avatar formula. If he continues to practice it in the future, he will exist longer and his body will be more solid. Isn't there another countless incarnations out of thin air? This is another great help in the war. I'm afraid few people can reach this realm. With this in mind, Xiao Yang can't help feeling a little excited, but the most important thing now is the general meeting of medicine refiners. After waiting for nearly 2 months, he can finally fight with this high-level medicine refiner. Although he has a grudge against these 2 people in his heart, Xiao Yang is more interested in their medicine refining skills. As for the account with these 2 people, it's not too late. What Xiao Yang did just now also made Mo Shai look at him, but now he can't think anymore. With a wave of his big sleeve, the ink flame suddenly swept out of the cyclone in his body and turned into a powerful dragon snake, churning constantly in the space in front of Mo Shai, and the smell of terror spread from him. The complexion of some semi-imperialist strongmen in the field can't help but change. Then, Mo Shai's palm spun in the air, and the ink-colored dragon snake suddenly turned into a big mouth. A thick black fog was spit out by him, and then it turned into an ink-colored pan-snake tripod, which looked rather seeping. Compared with Mo Shai, Wei Yi's blue and gold flame is not as good as that of Mo Shai, but it still has a good momentum. The huge green and gold beast's body was shocked, and an overbearing flame spread instantly and solidified around its body into an invisible medicine tripod. Then, the turquoise gold was a big mouth, and a pillar of fire through the sky was sprayed out of its mouth. Then it collided with the invisible medicine tripod like painting and wrapped it quickly. It was another powerful medicine tripod, which was quickly solidified at this moment. Next, it's Xiao Yang's turn. After seeing Xiao Yang's different fire, people are more impressed by Xiao Yang's flame. Now, Mo Shai and Wei have already lit the tripod. I'm afraid Xiao Yang's next fire tripod condensed with different fire is not vulgar at all. However, when everyone was looking forward to it, Xiao Yang frowned slightly and hesitated slightly in his heart. Different fire condenses the tripod. For today's Xiao Yang, it's just a matter between his fingers, and it's not a big deal. But the key is that what he wants to refine today is the real imperial pill. Although Xiao Yang was lucky to have seen this kind of pill, it's just seen it. Don't say that he cares about its properties. Even the most basic pill, Xiao Yang has never been in contact with. Xiao Yang is nervous about refining imperial elixir for the first time now, but he doesn't want to lose to these 2 guys when refining imperial elixir for the first time. Hesitated for a long time in the heart, and the people on the stand also looked at each other. Even Jiyu Li at the moment looked at red phosphorus on one side, but they all frowned and didn't speak. They still couldn't guess what Xiao Yang wanted to do. Finally, after a long time, Xiao Yang finally made a decision in his heart. A domineering light flashed in his eyes. Xiao Yan's body standing on the stone platform also stood out of thin air. Then his fingers stroked the ring between his fingers. His mind moved. A medicine tripod as strong as Mount Tai was born in the air and appeared in front of everyone. The next moment, the look on the faces of Jiu Li and red phosphorus on the referee's bench was also solidified in an instant, and generally, there were Mo Shai and Wei Yi. The huge medicine tripod as strong as Mount Tai crashed down like a meteorite falling from the sky. At the moment, the stone platform, which was originally stable on the void, could not help but tremble violently, and the silk crack spread rapidly like a spider's web. This stone platform seems to be almost broken. If you add another force, you can completely break it. The green and golden medicine tripod, under the influence of the chi of the saber, looks a little dark at the moment, but it still can't hide its sense of hegemony. Its vigorous momentum is as thick as the deep sea. Invisibly, it makes people feel a sense of stability and weight. The domineering spirit of this huge tripod also attracted the attention of the whole audience at the moment. The original majestic flame medicine tripod of Mo Shai and Wei Yi was like an ordinary small incense burner at the moment. At the same time that the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang appeared, Jiu Li, Kai Phosphorus, Mo Shai and Wei Yi, the 4 high-level herbalists except Xiao Yang, all showed a strong look of disbelief. When they looked at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang, they seemed to see a great beast. This medicine tripod. This is. On the referee's bench, Red Phosphorus and Jiu Li suddenly got up from their seats when they saw the medicine tripod. The huge momentum made the stone chairs under them turn into a pile of lime at that moment. At the moment, Red Phosphorus, a pair of turbid old eyes, stared at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yan. Because of the shock in his heart, at the moment, when talking, he couldn't speak clearly. It was a sentence that had reached the throat, but it was like a duck pinched by the neck, stuck in his throat and couldn't spit out. If this tripod is good, it should be on the tripod list that day. Luo Qianding. After all, Jiu Li, as the president, seemed more stable. Although he was also shocked by the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang, Jiu Li forced it down, and his slightly trembling palm gradually stabilized. At this moment, Jiu Li's determination as president is finally shown at this moment. On the other hand, Mo Shai and Wei Yi also looked at each other. At the moment, their hearts were even more shocked. Xiao Yang became more and more powerful, and the threat to them became more and more huge. In addition, the strange thing of looking for a king above, they and Xiao Yang were afraid to be immortal. Seeing Xiao Yan again now, Mo Shai and Wei Yi are even more dignified. Luo Qianshan tripod, this is the second most terrible existence in the tripod list. It is difficult for people who are not a big family to guard this existence. However, the forces that can guard these divine tripods are those that can rank well on the whole continent. At the moment, Xiao Yang can even come up with such a divine tripod, coupled with Xiao Yang's endless terrorist strength, it's really hard to think about it. At this moment, Wei Yi finally felt a sense of retreat. If this rock owl is really the legitimate son of a big family, they will really seek their own death. In this regard, Mo Shai also frowned, and his heart was as dignified as Wei Yi. All the things Xiao Yang showed were already in line with the core disciples of some real great forces. If so, they might not have a way to live. Of course, Mo Shai is also a ruthless man. Since the big forces behind Xiao Yang can't provoke them, at present, the rock owl is alone. Although he can't move him in this wild ancient city, he must leave. At that time. In addition, Fang Zan and Wang Qi didn't see each other for a month. In case they were really killed by Xiao Yang, the forces behind them would not give up. This is right for Mo Shai. At that time, when the Void Thunder Pool will open, the forces that Fang Zan Wang Qi belongs to will send people to the scene. At that time, as long as Mo Shai tells Fang Zan Wang Qi about them and adds more materials, the rock owl will naturally have a stronger one to deal with. Besides, Wu Mohui's master is not an ordinary person. His apprentice died in Xiao Yang's hands. If he knew, Xiao Yang would have a lot of trouble. With this in mind, Mo Shai couldn't help laughing. His eyes looking at Xiao Yang were a little more dark, and when he touched Luo Qianding, a sense of greed rose in his heart. Rock Owl, this time, I will not only get your strange fire, but also Luo Qianding. I will not let go. The changes in the faces of the four people in the field also made all the people present frown and look at each other. When they look at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yan, they all seem very inexplicable. Even the old monster who frowned at the moment. Obviously, he was a little strange to the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yan. He looked at Mo Zhai, but Mo Zhai looked slightly in his eyes and didn't tell. And this also made Hu Laode more suspicious, but he still didn't say anything after all. He just secretly wrote down the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang in his heart. After a long time, Jiyu Li also tried his best to calm down his emotions. His capable body stood tall and straight, his eyes slowly swept through the audience, and then he opened his mouth and said with a smile. Well, now that all three have sacrificed the medicine tripod, I won't say any more polite words. Since all three are high-level herbalists and have great strength, our herbalist guild is also afraid to be careless. Therefore, I took out 3 volumes of Imperial Dan prescriptions that have been cherished by our herbalist guild for a long time. Of course, for the sake of fairness of the competition, these 3 volumes of Dan prescriptions are of the same grade. As for what I need to do, the content of the competition is to see the efficacy of the final pill. As we all know, the elixir in the world is divided into Chengdan, Quandan, Lingdan, Jidan, and Shendan. The content of today's competition is here. The one with the highest grade of elixir will become the final winner of the competition, and the refined elixir and prescription will also belong to him. As soon as he said this, not only all the people on the stand, but also Lian Xiaoyan, as well as Mo Zhai and Wei Yi, felt very excited for a moment. It's a surprise for most herbalists to have the chance to see the imperial pill. Even some high-level herbalists who have been famous for a long time don't necessarily have several volumes of imperial pill in their hands. Even if it is Mo Zhai and Wei Yi, the emperor product Dan Fang in their hands will not exceed 3 volumes. Therefore, we can see how amazing the temptation of the emperor product Dan Fang is. For Xiao Yang, who has never had an imperial pill, Jiyu Li's words are an irresistible temptation to him. He will not let go of the imperial pill. Jiyu Li casually glanced at Xiao Yang's determined look, and couldn't help smiling in his heart. The reason why he did this was to make Xiao Yan pay his best. At that time, the winning rate of his herbalist guild will soar again. In addition, Wei Yi is here. In this competition, their herbalist guild is sure. There was a faint smile at the corners of his mouth, and Jiyu Li waved his big sleeve. The 3 volumes of pills were conveniently carried by a force and flew to the middle of the square. For this, Xiao Yang and the 3 people no longer hesitated. While the 3 volumes of pills flew out, they also shot out and rushed towards the 3 volumes of pills. For the sake of fairness and justice in the competition, the 3 volumes of Dan Fang have been banned by me. The 3 high-level herbalists have to draw one of them. I think they all understand this. Xiao Yan ignored Jiyu Li's words, and Jiyu Li had to curl his mouth and scold in his heart. He didn't say anything more and turned back to the referee's seat. Without Jiyu Li's control, the 3 volumes of Dan Fang also fell from the sky like a meteor. Xiao Yang and his 3 people saw this and suddenly flashed in front of the 3 volumes of Dan Fang. Wei Yi was the first to bear the brunt. He glanced at Xiao Yang, who was coming after him with Yu Guang. His body shook. He suddenly appeared in front of a scroll of Dan Square. His big hand leaned forward and grabbed it. Xiao Yang behind him was also unwilling to be outdone. The light at his feet flashed and Qianjue's step was displayed in an instant. His body shape was just like transcending the shackles of space and appeared on one side of Wei's body shape in an instant. With a wave of his arm, an invisible force came out in an instant. In Wei Yi's angry eyes, he blasted the Dan Fang that was about to be handed by Wei Yi into the sky. And its body shape also appeared in front of another volume of Dan Fang in an instant. While Wei Yi was not coming, he grabbed it in the past. Jia, Wei Yi can't, but I'm still here. I'll take this volume of Dan Fang first. Looking at the coming Dan Fang, Xiao Yang rushed forward faster, but even so, Mo Zhai's body was still 1 step faster than him, holding the scroll in the palm of his hand. Seeing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help but take a look of anger on his face, but he still knew what the occasion was. He didn't fight against Mo Shai, but his body suddenly flashed and rushed towards another volume of Dan Fang. You have no luck in this volume. Before Xiao Yang arrived, Wei Yi's figure was immediately before the volume of Dan Fang. With a wave of his big sleeve, he wanted to put the Dan Fang into his bag and let Xiao Yang eat it again. With you, Mo Shai can barely compete with me. With what? At the moment, Xiao Yang's heart also couldn't help surging up with anger. With a cold hum, the forward body immediately disappeared in place. At the same time, Xiao Yang suddenly appeared on the side of Wei Yi, and a fist hit Wei Yi's face. At the sight of this, Wei Yi's face changed suddenly. He didn't have time to take his Dan Fang into the ring. His arms were lifted up in an instant. The fighting spirit in his body gushed out like a tide. He turned into a fighting light shield in front of him and completely protected his head. When Xiao Yang saw this, he put on a sneer, and his heart moved. The blood of the dragon phoenix in his body burst out instantly. The strength of his fist soared again at the moment, and his fist pounded on the fighting light shield. Click! With a crisp sound, the fighting light shield that enveloped Wei Yi's whole head burst after supporting less than 10 breaths. However, the giant fist was still powerful and pounded on Wei Yi's arm. Bang! With a bang, Wei Yi's figure shot out in an instant and was directly blasted out of the scope of the void square by Xiao Yang's fist. Overestimate yourself. As soon as Wei was blown away, Xiao Yang gave a cold hum and took the Dan Fang in his hand. Then he glanced contemptuously at the stunned Mo Shai in the distance. With a flash of his body, he returned to his stone platform. Ignoring the shocking eyes of the whole audience, Xiao Yan calmed himself and pressed down the excitement in his heart. His face looked quite calm. He took out the scroll of Dan Fang, moved his hands together and opened it slowly. Imperial Pill, Imperial Robbery Pill. Xiao Yang looked at the 7 vigorous characters on the scroll in his hand, but his mind was as if he had been controlled for a long time. It really deserves to be the Imperial Elixir. Even Xiao Yang, who is a semi-imperial strongman, can't help being awed by it. It's really hard to imagine how terrible the real Imperial Elixir should be. After a good film, Xiao Yang was suddenly shocked. At the same time, a flame flashed in the depths of his pupils. Xiao Yang also withdrew from his absence, but his eyes were even more shocked when he looked at the scroll in his hand. Is this the power of Emperor Pin Dan Fang? It's really terrible. If it is opened by Master Jiupin, I'm afraid it will be forcibly pulled out of its soul by this Dan Fang. Xiao Yang couldn't help sighing when he felt the terrible power of the Emperor's Dan Fang. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mo Shai slowly spread out the scroll in his hand, and then a bright light flashed in his eyes. Obviously, the Dan Fang in his hand was also quite good for him. Shura tilde. In the void, a sharp breaking wind suddenly sounded. The terrible speed made the space under rapid compression, and a harsh sound of sonic boom came out, which was amazing. Looking at the fierce fighting spirit, it can be determined that this person at this time must come with incomparable anger. And when everyone on the stand looked at the vague figure with a little doubt, many sharp-eyed people recognized it at the moment. Isn't this Elder Wei Yi? Look at this posture. It's trying to work hard with the rock owl. It seems that it's difficult to hold today's medicine refining masters meeting. As soon as he said this, the people on the stand also reacted in an instant. Although they could not recognize it by the vague light and shadow alone, looking at the direction he rushed forward, we can see that the figure was impressively directed at Xiao Yang. Hey, the old man Wei Yi is really looking for a dead end. The rock owl has defeated the 6-star-and-half emperor, and his strength is extraordinary. How can he compare? He really responds to the words just said by the rock owl. He is beyond his power. Seeing Wei Yi's angry figure, there were a lot of sarcastic words on the stand, which made everyone burst out a sneer. The 6-star-and-half emperor retreated. That's just under the premise that he showed his fighting skills. Now the rock owl doesn't have time to show it. Hey, can you forget that the rock owl itself is already a 3-star-and-half emperor? What super fighting skills do you need to deal with a mere 1.5-star emperor? For a moment, the stands, which had become silent because of Xiao Yang's shock, became boiling again at this moment, but Xiao Yan and Wei Yi, as the focus of their speech, paid no attention at all. The former is naturally too lazy to prove anything. Those things, but worldly things, vanity, have no attraction to Xiao Yan. As for Wei Yi, his anger is rising in his heart at the moment. With his strength, all the words in the population are naturally heard by him, but in his heart, he is more and more angry. Because in these words, more people still despise and ridicule him. In this way, the anger in Wei's heart is more uncontrollable. At the moment, the only idea in his heart is to knock down Xiao Yang, and the strength between him and Xiao Yang is thrown out of the sky. Suddenly, Wei Yi rushed to Xiao Yang, but his body was suddenly shocked. The forward speed soared again. The terrible speed made the strong wind around him as sharp as an extreme soldier. The thunderous sound of sonic booms can be heard all the more. The terrible smell of the semi-imperial strongman also rages on the whole void square in an instant, making many people in this scene suddenly change their complexion at the moment. If Gu Li hadn't made a strong move to protect the whole square, at least half of these people would have been crushed to death by this momentum. Drink. Rock owl, die. Wei suddenly gave out a fierce roar like a beast in his mouth. Without waiting for his voice to fall, Wei Yi's whole body appeared in front of Xiao Yang. At this moment, his fighting spirit was like a sharp blade tearing the void. It condensed in an instant, turned into a huge blade, and cut off Xiao Yang's head with a knife. Before the knife fell, the void square below was replaced by a wide crack. At this moment, the whole void square was forcibly cut in half by this fierce knife. From the ground, the vast void square covering one side of the sky seems to have been divided into two parts at the moment. A straight crack passes through the whole square. The dazzling brilliance also crosses the defense of the square and falls on the earth at the moment. However, even so, the stone platform on the verge of breaking under Xiao Yang's feet was not affected by this terrible knife. That is, even a grain of dust had not moved a bit. At the sight of this scene, Wei's pupils were suddenly tightened, and his heart was shocked. However, the power of the fierce blow above his head was not reduced at all. On the contrary, the fighting spirit in his body poured out like a river into the sea, and all of it was injected into the huge blade in his hand. At this moment, Wei Yi is sober. Xiao Yang's strength is really not just relying on his fighting skills, but on his real strength. There is no doubt about Xiao Yang's strength. But now, the arrow has been stringed, and it is too late to retreat. That is, we can only go all out, put all our eggs in one basket, and try our best to fight with Xiao Yang. At the moment, Xiao Yang has not fought with him and won it in one fell swoop. Perhaps only in this way can we have a chance to win. With the injection of fighting spirit, the huge blade of Ling Qian suddenly emits a dazzling golden light. That is, even the sunlight shining on heaven and earth is covered by its light at this moment. The people on the stand couldn't even open their eyes. Only those who were semi-emperor and strong dared to look directly, but they also had a strong dignified color in their eyes. Wei Yi's attack is probably some 2.5-star emperors, who dare not underestimate at all. At the moment, Xiao Yang still looks like a light cloud and light wind. If he is hit by Wei Yi's knife, he will be seriously injured at worst. In the twinkling of an eye, the distance between Xiao Yang and Wei Yi is only a short 10 feet. At this moment, the huge blade of Ling Qian is already on the top of Xiao Yang's head. The most terrible power is like an ancient beast roaring towards Xiao Yang's head. The cold wind makes Xiao Yang feel a little suffocated. And his eyebrows are also slightly wrinkled. This feeling of approaching death is not good. However, I have to say that only this feeling can really stimulate him and make his heart burn completely. Drink. Rock owl, die. Ha ha. Remember, today next year is your Memorial Day, but don't regret today's to odor. It's strange that you can only provoke people who shouldn't be provoked. Die? At the end of his life, Xiao Yang was still indifferent and indifferent. It was like the giant blade on the top of his head, which had nothing to do with him. However, in his eyes, there are also strands of gorgeous fire, constantly condensing. At the moment, Wei Yi, who is almost crazy, is unaware of this slight change in Xiao Yang's pupil. The only thing he knows in his heart is that Xiao Yang has no time to move again. When his knife falls, it is also when Xiao Yang, the great 3-star and half emperor, falls. Since then, his name of Wei Yi will be known to more people, because today, he forcibly killed a 3-star and half emperor with the strength of 1-star and half emperor. These achievements are enough to attract the attention of some big forces. This small medicine refining guild will no longer be a reason to bind him. At the same time, on the stand, Jiu Li and Red Phosphorus have already made full preparations and are always ready to stop Wei Yi. As early as in the past, Red Phosphorus had already wanted to fight, but he and Jiu Li also believed in Xiao Yang's strength and believed that Xiao Yang would never really trust him. Even if Wei Yi did his best, Xiao Yang would be prepared. However, I'm afraid he was really careless looking at Xiao Yang now. Of course, as the sponsor of this herbalist meeting, Jiu Li should have stopped this situation at the moment, but he can clearly feel that in the void, the old thing Hu Lao Gui is still guarding against him. If he does, he is afraid he will stop himself. At that time, there will be a lot of trouble. While everyone hesitated, the giant blade of Ling Tian in Wei Yi's hand had come to Xiao Yang. It was only a few inches away from Xiao Yang's head. At this moment, if Xiao Yang didn't do it again, the next moment would be when Xiao Yang fell. The next moment. Do it. Do it. Jiu Li and Red Phosphorus roared out a fierce drink almost at the same time. Their body shape suddenly burst, and the space in front of them burst. However, their body shape has already appeared 100 feet in front of Xiao Yang. As long as they are willing, they can completely stop Wei Yi before the giant blade falls. Hee, you two don't see me in your eyes. Before they reached Xiao Yang, the figure of the old Hu monster suddenly appeared like a ghost, appeared in front of Jiu Li and Kai Phosphorus, and stopped them. Old monster Hu, although you are not weaker than me, don't forget that there are 2 8.5 emperors in our herbalist guild. You can stop me, but you can't stop Red Phosphorus. Guli's voice didn't fall, but Red Phosphorus moved. He didn't pay any attention to the old Hu monster in front of him. His body burst and flashed, which was to rush towards Xiao Yang. Jie, can you stop it? But it's not up to you to try, Jie. Hearing Jiu Li's words, Hu Laogwa giggled and flashed in front of the Red Phosphorus. His dry palm was like an iron wall to stop the Red Phosphorus. Jiu Li also caught up with the old monster when he disappeared. When the old monster stopped the Red Phosphorus, he hit it with one hand and bombarded it with the old monster's hand. The next moment, Jiu Li's face was suddenly changed, and an old face was also full of shock. Hu Laogwa looked at Jiu Li with a strange smile, and suddenly forced Jiu Li back 3 steps. On the other hand, in Red Phosphorus's eyes, the huge blade on Xiao Yang's head was too late to stop. Even if he broke out with all his strength, it was too late. Wei Yi! Stop it! If you don't stop, I'll abolish you today. In a hurry, Red Phosphorus couldn't help but turn his old face red with anger. His teeth were all bitten and cluttered. A pair of red eyes stared at Wei Yi and roared angrily. When Wei Yi heard this, he became more violent in his eyes, showed an extremely ferocious bloody smile towards Red Phosphorus, and suddenly waved the huge blade in his palm. The next moment, on the horizon, Jiu Li and Hu Laogwa were cold relative. Red Phosphorus was shocked on his face and shocked in his heart, which made him unable to spit out a word. On the grandstand, in the VIP seat, Xian Lao's slightly tight body also relaxed slowly at the moment, slowly spitting out the turbid air held in his chest. In a pair of turbid old eyes, he also had an irrecoverable shock color. Rock owl. Really? Monster. He sighed helplessly in his heart. Such a powerful young generation is the child of his family. I'm afraid it's a little inferior. At the moment, the half-emperor strong men are more shocked than the Red Phosphorus and others. They are looking at Xiao Yang as if they were looking at a monster. Above the void, Xiao Yang's right arm has turned into a golden dragon arm at the moment. The body of diamond glass and the ancient armor of dragon phoenix are in Xiao Yang's hands. At the moment, it can be called a real pure fire. It can be controlled freely. If you move your mind, you can display it at will. At the moment, Xiao Yan's dragon arm tightly controls the Lingqian giant blade above his head. To be exact, Xiao Yan only uses 2 dragon fingers. The startling saber that can cut off everything in the world is taken by Xiao Yan's 2 fingers at will. After the thunder baptism of the empty thunder beast, Xiao Yan's flesh has soared again in this short month. The strength of Wei Yi no longer poses the slightest threat to him. In Xiao Yan's eyes, Wei Yi is no different from the ants. At the moment, Wei Yi also seemed to be splashed with a basin of ice water in an instant. The whole person woke up in an instant, but it was unexpected that Xiao Yan's strength was so strong. In front of Xiao Yan, his proud fighting skills can't even compare with his 2 fingers. I said earlier that Mo Zhai was reluctant to fight with me because his apparent strength was similar to mine, but why should you rely on the old man? It's really ignorant. Since you are so stubborn, I don't mind removing a scourge for the Herbalist Guild, so. Xiao Yan's voice didn't fall, but Wei Yi's face suddenly turned pale. He tried to suppress his inner fear and shouted to Xiao Yan. Rock Owl! You! What do you want to do? I'm the chief smelter of the Medicine Refining Association. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you'll be an enemy of the Medicine Refining Association. Then, having said so much, I don't want me to kill you. Being afraid of death is just being afraid of death. Why are there so many reasons? It's really noisy. As soon as the voice fell, Xiao Yan's eyes suddenly became fierce. The strength on the 2 dragon fingers condensed in an instant, and then it came out with a crisp click. The huge blade of Lingqian also broke into pieces, scattered and disappeared in the void. At the next moment, there is no need for Wei Yi to say more. In Xiao Yan's eyes, 2 fire beams condensed to the extreme are shot out in an instant, and the words Wei Yi is about to export are sealed forever. With a flash of fire, Wei Yi's body fell slowly, but his body disappeared slowly like a remnant. Only the strongest person knew that it was not a disappearance, but was completely burned by a different fire. The body was nothing. This video will end here.